Every once in a while, when Trump doesn't have the energy to do a full event, a rally, he'll just sort of schedule an impromptu press conference in this case, again, at Trump Tower. And he had notes. He was trying to read off of them throughout this. I'm not going to subject you to a bunch of it, hopefully, but there were a few notable moments I want to share with you. But essentially, the goal here is, all right, let's give Trump talking points. As Harris is out there making a really strong case and she delivers it effectively, Trump, please go out there and appeal to the voters, not just your base, but the voters you need to win over. That's the goal of his campaign. And every time, as happened this time, he fails miserably at doing that. Before showing you the notable clips, just to give you a sense of the hour and a half that this was, he just sort of would be talking.
As a down with deportations, opportunists.
And you can just skip around and he's...
Number, you don't hear that. You hear 15, 16. Sometimes you hear 17. The number is at least 21 million. And on top of that, you have gotaways. That's gotaways along with anybody. You know.
Point is, his whole section was mostly him just ranting about the border. We've heard those rants a million times, so I don't need to play that for you again. Instead, notably, he called for Nancy Pelosi to be prosecuted.
Her husband sold their Visa stock. They had a lot of Visa stock one day before Visa was announced that Visa is being sued by the Department of Justice. Think of that. Nancy Pelosi sold vast amounts of Visa stock one day before the big lawsuit that we all read about a few days ago was brought against Visa. You think it was luck? I don't think. She should be prosecuted. Nancy Pelosi should be prosecuted for that. And she should also be prosecuted for J6 because she turned down 10,000 or any number she wanted, soldiers or National Guard. And I hope you all read John Solomon and what John Solomon wrote 2 days ago.
We didn't. But even there, even in that clip, you see what I'm talking about. While he misstates the Pelosi thing, and I'll correct the record on that in a second, with about Visa, that's a point that you can actually get moderate voters to listen to you on. Because a lot of people do want a congressional stock trading ban. I want that. And so Pelosi's a good example of someone who's benefited a lot, it seems, it appears, from the fact that that's not banned. But first he inaccurately states it, and he has to bring up January 6th. Pelosi comes and says, he says January 6th. And to every independent, moderate Republican, obviously Democrats, rational thinker, Trump's insane claims about January 6th that are not backed up by any evidence whatsoever, him trying to cast blame on anyone but himself, that doesn't resonate with people. What he's referring to is this: Nancy Pelosi's husband sold Visa shares 2 months, not a day before, 2 months before a DOJ lawsuit. Some say the trade shouldn't have been allowed. And this is an example of what, to a lot of people, stinks of, oh, that's not correct. Which is why I'm for a congressional stock trading ban. I know this is her husband, but sometimes families have been included that in such a ban proposal as well. And you do want even the appearance of that sort of insider trading type stuff to not be present. But Trump can't even hold on to that point before getting on to his January 6th nonsense. We'll be right back to the video just really quickly. If you're not already, I would appreciate you clicking that subscribe button. We are really close to 1 million subscribers. You can help us get there. Easy, free way. And then we do have merch at lukebeasleymerch.com with Harris as a promo code. You can get free shipping. Super cool election themed merch. Check it out. Back to the video. Then here, I guess I'll play this whole clip for you. Maybe not, but he gets asked about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And interestingly, I always tell you, he doesn't actually have a plan for peace. He says he wants peace, but he doesn't have a plan for it. And he even admits that he's not going to ever give a specific plan. It appears at the end of the clip.
President Zelensky said that you do not understand what it takes to win this war.
Oh, then I should immediately cancel my appointment. No, he knows. He knows I understand. Look, I hate to see the carnage. If I were president, it never would have happened. Russia would have never attacked Ukraine. Never, ever. And by the way, President Xi would have never even thought about Taiwan, which he's thinking about very seriously now, flying planes over it every single day.
I think you guys are too, just really sick of hearing these same talking points with no evidence. But take a look at this. And of course, the clip freezes up on us. Let me refresh and get right back to this.
I disagree with him. Well, he doesn't know me, but I disagree. But I will say this. I believe I will be able to make a deal between President Putin and President Zelensky quite quickly.
But what does that look like? What does that look like? What does that?
I don't want to tell you what that looks like.
Yeah, we know. Admitting there. Oh, I don't actually know what the heck I'm talking about. He doesn't have a plan. Just saying I want peace over and over, not a solution. You actually have to have a plan for it that doesn't include give Putin everything that he wants. And Trump probably just intends on doing the thing I just stated. As he says, he had such a great relationship with Putin. But if that's not what he's intending on doing, then he just doesn't know what he would do, and it's all political nonsense. Here, he weighs in on the fact that Democratic mayor of New York, Eric Adams, has been indicted, and you'll never guess what Trump connects it to.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the mayor well, but he's been fairly generous to me in his statements for a while. I thought you had the worst mayor ever that we had prior to him. I will say this. I watched about a year ago when he talked about how the illegal migrants are hurting our city and the federal government should pay us and we shouldn't have to take them. And I said, you know what? He'll be indicted within a year. And I was exactly right.
So Trump's pushing a conspiracy that he saw somewhere on Truth Social or maybe he thought of it himself that I've seen all over MAGA spaces. Because they can't just admit, see, the DOJ, maybe it doesn't just go after Republicans. See, clearly Democrats really do have on this issue more integrity than we've seen from Republicans. Because Democrats have been calling on a Democrat, Eric Adams, to resign. Because we really don't want criminality among our leaders, even if it's a Democrat. But they can't handle that. So instead, they have to say, no, it must have been because he had a stance on undocumented immigration that blah, 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 caused him to be indicted. Or, Associated Press reports, New York Mayor Eric Adams indicted, let's see here, on charges of taking bribes and illegal campaign funds from foreign sources. And once again, a set of very damning allegations. So regardless of his party, just like with Trump, justice should be served and they should be held accountable, and then they'll have a chance to defend themselves in a court of law. Eric Adams did, by the way, and let me pull this one up for you. He did take a page right out of Trump's book.
My fellow New Yorkers, it is now my belief that the federal government intends to charge me with crimes. If so, these charges will be entirely false, based on lies. But they would not be surprising. I always knew that if I stood my ground for all of you, that I would be a target. And a target I became.
Oh gosh, see the impact that I know other politicians have claimed that before, but now it's going to become so common because of Trump doing it that any time a politician is held legally accountable, they say, oh, it's because I was fighting for you. No, it's because allegedly you broke the law. Then it's not a Trump event lately without him ranting about ABC News because that debate was just so unfair.
Crime has gone up massively.
It's gone way down.
He said, I'd like to state for the record that crime has not gone up. Now, you don't know this, but we had a deal with ABC that there will be no corrections of any kind, and they violated the deal. Why? Because they're bad people and they're fake news. So he did it many times to me during the debate. He violated the deal. That's the deal. Because you can take anything and try and make up stories with it. We had a deal where that wouldn't happen. You could do whatever you wanted as soon as the debate was over, but he did it in total violation of what our agreement.
So all I heard was the agreement was specifically for fact checking on the screen, where while Trump or Harris were talking, it would pop up fact checking them. Maybe they did have some other agreement. Haven't seen the evidence of that yet. But Trump still, to this day, blaming his disastrous debate on everyone but himself. Like every time anything goes wrong in Trump's life, he is really the ultimate victim. Continuing on him lying about crime, here's him saying this.
Who's going to hurt them? They want to have a safe country. As I said, before being interrupted by lightweight anchor David Muir, crime is massively up in our country. It's very lucky the Department of Justice released numbers right after that debate. Somebody in there might like me, but they released numbers, giving the real numbers, and the numbers were unbelievably, shockingly high, the highest ever.
The highest ever. He's just it. If we weren't able to assume that he's just lying and willing to lie, you would think, oh my gosh, he's having some medical event. Because he's saying things that are just completely wrong. What are you saying? What's going on with your brain? But he knows he's lying, he's just choosing to. The DOJ released data showing that crime's the highest ever. No. We got the report that crime just keeps plummeting and is to pre-pandemic levels or lower. Things are safer than they've been in a very long time. He's just lying. Oh, it's crazy. And the fact that people can't just quickly take a quick little journey over to Google MAGA and see if you can find the Justice Department report that proves crime's high. See. And then again, when it comes to Gaza, Trump cannot give a single detail of his plan.
Leaders yesterday at the UN General Assembly came together to call for an immediate ceasefire. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is speaking at the UN tomorrow. He has refused to do that. What would you do differently to prevent the Middle East?
Well, you have to have that ended one way or the other. The world isn't going to take it. You have to have that ended. And I would think that we're getting close to a point where maybe it can end pretty soon. But you're going to have to end. That's unacceptable. The whole thing over there is unacceptable. That's another one. October 7th would have never happened.
And then he can't do anything other than, oh, we're going to get peace because of peace because of peace. We're going to do peace through peace by peace. Which means you don't actually value peace. Because a plan for a path to peace is how you get peace, not just saying it over and over. Oh, we just got to get that done. It needs to be done and finished and over and all that. So. But according to MAGA, it's Harris who isn't specific enough in her answers. Let me know what you thought. Just another Trump event. Ugh. In the comments. Support the show. Get the members-only bonus show. We'll be talking more about Eric Adams' indictment on the bonus show by clicking that join button below.